Talking with Ned LeDoux, son, of course, of Chris LeDoux, is going to be up at Beartrap Music Festival. Ned, I got to ask first off, you spend so much time on the road, so much time away from home, so much time away from your family. Did the same thing happen to you when you were a kid? Was your dad on the road so much that you didn't get to see him all that much?
Once, he got very successful in music, he was able to bring out a family bus. And, so the band would have their own bus, and then Dad and the family would go out. But I never really did. I had my own band in Wyoming, and so I just kind of stuck around home and worked on the ranch and then played in my own band on the weekends. So.
Wow. Now, at some point, I've noticed that, again, we've met a couple of times. And a couple of times that we've met, I always notice you have a few more people around you. So I assume your career is doing better because you just keep getting more people. The more people you have, Ned, the more successful you are. So
well, it's really just the same group of guys. There's only 7 of us out there. It's been that way for years, you know. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Sure.
So and I trust all these guys, and they trust me, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay. Well, let's go around the tour again, because right now you're where?
We're on just a day off right now in Miles City, Montana. So we're headed to North Dakota and then back to Wyoming for a couple dates, and then Idaho.
So it's not just Beartrap Music Festival. You've got some other Wyoming dates.
We do. Yeah. I'm always tickled to see a Wyoming date come on there. But yeah, the Beartrap Festival, I know it's been going on for 25 years now.
That's right, yeah.
But I've never been up there to even witness it. Of course, being from KC, Wyoming, we do a lot of shopping and hanging out in Casper, but yeah, I've never been up there for the festival.
Okay, so you finally get done with the festival, maybe before or after the festival. You're going to go home to KC?
Well, actually, early the next day, we have to fly up to Seattle and play a show with Toby Keith. The very next day. So, but yeah, we'll see some family. Actually spent the day off in KC yesterday.
All right.
And so, yeah, they're going to come out to the show in Casper as well. So.
Okay, because I would hate to think that you come all the way home and then you really don't get to enjoy home. You're just sort of in and out that fast. I mean, that just wouldn't be right.
Yeah. It's always good to see the family around.
Okay. Well, let's talk about some of the things I heard you got that you're doing right now. I heard that you got another album coming out. What is that, November it comes out?
Yeah, it's going to be early November. This will be my sophomore project. But I had the great Mac McAnally produce this one as well. And, him and I collaborated on a few songs, but there's going to be 12 tracks. I wrote 9 of them. And there's a handful of songs that go hand in hand with what I've done already off the first album, Sagebrush. But then there's a few songs that I wrote that are, give you a little bit more to think about. I was kind of aiming for a little more depth on this album. But yeah, there's a lot of up-tempo stuff, and we've already been playing a lot of the songs live, and just been having a lot of fun with it.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is if you got a new one coming out, are you already letting people hear some of those songs when you do a concert? So at Beartrap, are they going to hear some stuff on the upcoming album?
Yeah, and we've been playing, a lot of those songs over the last few months. But yeah, you're definitely going to hear some brand new material. The first single, or first cut off the new album is called Where You Belong. It's one that I wrote, and but yeah, we're going to probably be releasing at least 3 more songs before the full album comes out. And we've named the tour Dance With Your Spurs On, and it's named after one of the songs on the album, the song that I co-wrote with a good friend of mine from Alberta, Canada, a guy named Corb Lund. And so yeah, it just fit perfect to name the tour after it as well.
Does it, when you say you wrote a song, are you doing the lyrics and the music, or just the lyrics and somebody else is coming up? And what's the process here?
Well, usually what I do, like just an example, for this album, I did most of my writing or got most of the ideas while we were on the road. I'm always kind of listening to, what people are saying. Maybe they'll say something that is kind of interesting, and I'll kind of write it down. But then when I get home, usually in the summertime, I don't waste my time writing a song. I just like to be with my family. But then things kind of slow down in the winter, and that's when I'll really focus in on, finishing up these little ideas. And I just kind of go down in my basement and kind of pour out all these ideas that are written on boarding passes or gas receipts or things I've typed into my phone, and just kind of piece them together. And so then once I have a pretty good collection of stuff, I'll get a hold of Mac and say, all right, we need to book a studio somewhere. I got some more stuff. And so then we get some top shelf A-list session players, and I'll just kind of sit down and sing these songs acoustically to them, and then they'll chart it out. And so when I write the lyrics and the melody, and then those guys just add the flavor and the spice and everything else to it.
Well, that sounds like a great way to do that, because you think about it like a bass player or whatever the instrument might be. This is someone who knows that instrument really well. Always a fan of when someone becomes an expert, let them do what they do best. So to turn to someone on a particular instrument and say, okay, this is all you, give me what you got, and let him figure it out instead of telling them what to do, probably the best way to put together a piece of music, I'd think.
Yeah, and having Mac McAnally produce it, he's a 10-time CMA Musician of the Year, and he's been Songwriter of the Year, and I mean, he's written hit songs for so many people, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
and he plays on the album as well. He does a lot of the harmonies, guitars and keyboards and things like that. And, so yeah, all I do is, I write the music, I write the lyrics and the melody, and then I'll kind of turn it over to him, and then he'll call up, some of the best musicians out of Nashville, and we'll just go in there for 2 or 3 days and knock it out.
I'm talking to Ned LeDoux, who's going to be up at Beartrap Festival. So let's talk about the time it takes actually to put the album together, because you say, yeah, with 2 or 3 days and we kind of knock it out. How long does it really take to get all those tracks down and get the album together? Mixing, all of that?
Well, the songwriting, that's one story, but you'd think when you go into the studio it's going to take, maybe a week or a couple weeks, and maybe for some bands it does. But for me, and having Mac produce it and play on it, it takes, I think we record at least 5 songs a day, and then, so yeah, we're in the studio tracking for maybe 2 or 3 days. And then there's some overdub stuff, maybe add a little pedal steel or a little bit of fiddle or something like that on there. But yeah, it's kind of, right now it's kind of the long process of, finding the artwork and picking out the single and when are we going to start pre-sales and things like that.
Yeah.
But I got a great team behind me though. They know what they're doing, but I'm a big part of it as well. Every decision kind of goes through me.
Well, then let's take the next step of that process. How old are you now?
I'll be 42 on Beartrap Day.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, you're a little bit more up there than I thought. Okay, because I remember when I was a kid, it literally was about, my sister had this little record player. You remember those tiny little ones, and we would go get a 45. So if somebody released a single, we can get the album, but there was the 45. We'd go buy those. But today, how is your music getting out there? I mean, I suppose there's still some CD sales. How are you selling it now?
Well, CDs, I'm old-fashioned. I still remember, living in KC and making a list of different albums I wanted to buy when I went to Casper, when there was music stores and record shops and stuff. And I just loved the whole trip of going into the store and finding what you're looking for and getting in the truck and putting it in the, of course it was cassettes back in those days.
Oh, yeah,
but,
yeah.
Put a cassette tape in and you're starting to listen to it and you look through all the pictures and the thank you notes and who wrote the song, who played on it. So I want to keep that, or at least maybe try to bring that back. But you got to roll with what's going on these days, with streaming and download stuff, so we do, both sides of it. But, so yeah, you can go online and find it, and you can also order a CD or come out to a show. And I always tell people, I can't sign a digital copy.
Yeah.
So So we have CDs for sale.
I miss the old LP album covers. That was one of my favorite things, to look at an LP and the artwork they did on the cover. And if somebody can get the artist to sign the cover, that was a big deal.
Yeah. I remember when I was a little kid having one of my favorite albums was Tom T. Hall.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like the children's songs, and it had all the pictures on there, you know, the Mysterious Fox of Fox Hollow and Sneaky Snake, you know, all those great songs. Yeah.
I'm going to take it back just a little bit, though, something you said earlier when you said you head on down to the cellar and, you know, you're just kind of writing out all those ideas. I like the idea that, you wrote something on a receipt and so on. So I'm trying to picture what your cellar looks like. You got a recording studio down there, or is that a man cave?
Well, it's kind of a kid's playroom, and I got like a little 16-track recorder, but it's just kind of right for to record demo stuff. But yeah, it's got a bunch of interesting stuff hanging on the wall, old concert pictures and family pictures and arrowheads.
So more of a family
like
room, because I was picturing a studio, but you're describing a family room.
Yeah,
okay.
Because we got 2 kids, a 9-year-old and almost a 2-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And so they like to come down there and make a bunch of noise too. So
okay. Well, real quick before I get on to, because we got to talk about Beartrap for just a moment. Tell me about the kids here. So you got a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old. What are they like?
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, our son Bronson, he just turned 9 in June, and he's just into everything. He's probably one of the best artists that I know. He just loves to draw, and he's got a great imagination, and he'll sit down and educate you on every dinosaur that ever was.
Mm-hmm.
He knows the name of them, what they were, where they came from. Then my little girl, she'll be 2 in September, and she picks up on stuff pretty quick, and she's all over the place, and she's definitely got me wrapped around her finger.
No, that's what they do, and I got to tell you, Ned, it just gets worse. This is not going to get any better. All right, so let's talk about Beartrap. So what day are you going to be there for the Beartrap Festival?
It's August 4th.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time do you play? Do you know that?
I couldn't even tell you.
Okay, I'll go ahead and look that up, and we'll get that on there as far as what time you play. But people can go ahead and look up tickets for the Beartrap Music Festival and make sure that they're up there to see you. Which, by the way, I was looking at the field where they put on Beartrap, because like you, I'd never been to the thing. I've heard about it for years. Boy, that's going to be a great outdoor concert. I mean, provided you don't get hit by a thunderstorm, things it's going to be a great outdoor concert. What are you looking to play? You already have in mind what you're going to do? Is it the current tour that you're doing?
Yeah, we'd be doing a lot of the brand new stuff, but we'll also be playing a lot of songs off my first album. But the people are guaranteed to hear some of Dad's classic songs as well.
Yeah.
Do
you get asked that a lot whenever you show? I mean, you got your stuff, and I know you're proud of your stuff, but I would suppose that a lot of people turn and say, play one of your dad's, and he had so many.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I put down the drums, I played drums for most of my life, and then I started kind of learning some songs on the guitar. The only songs I even bothered learning were my dad's songs. I never even thought of learning anybody else's. And so I started playing solo gigs probably 5 years ago. And, I just loved playing the old classic stuff, like Hippies in Calgary, Photo Finish, The Yellow Stud, just that old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so, now that I got, pretty good collection of my own material, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to play, Dad's classics, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that want to come out and hear Western Skies or this Cowboy's Hat.
I'm sure someone's you're gonna play Brothers Highway. I guess that's your current hit, right? And then you're gonna go probably right into something from your dad right after that. So do you ever stop? Do you just play his stuff, or do you stop and pay tribute to your dad along the way? I mean, do people know the difference between the two who haven't seen you in concert?
Yeah, they definitely know the difference between one of my songs and Dad's, but a lot of the songs I write go hand in hand with what my dad did. Mm-hmm. And I had a really cool dream. I mean, I'm sorry to take up all your time, but
no,
I just got to share the story with you. But it was right after my first album was released, the Sagebrush album. And there's a song on there that I wrote called Forever a Cowboy. And I had this dream that me and my dad were sitting at the breakfast table, and he had this old cassette, stereo and some headphones, and he was listening to the Forever a Cowboy, and he took the headphones off when the song got over with, and he looked at me and said, "Man, that's a great song. I wish I would have recorded that." And I just woke up in the best mood, but he asked me in the dream, he said, "Now, who wrote that?" I said, "Well, I did, Dad." He goes, "Man, that's a great song." So I kind of like to think that maybe it was his way to channel like his opinion or his thoughts,
right,
to let me know that hey, you're doing a good job. I'm proud of you, son.
I think he is proud of what you've done, with not just his legacy, but building your own as well. When the concert's over, do people get a chance to meet you? Are you one of those who likes to walk out into the crowd?
Yeah, I always make it a point to go out to the merch table and, sign anything that they want, take a picture. And, that's a fun part of the night. We love playing live. That's what it's all about. But I really enjoyed, meeting the fans and giving them some time to take a picture and whatever.
All right. Well, that's going to be, again, at Beartrap Music Festival, which is coming up real fast here. So people can not only look you up on the Beartrap Music Festival and make sure to get tickets for that day, but where do people go to find you online?
They can go to nedledoux.com, and we got all the social media platform stuff, too. So,
Okay.
we're all out there.
All right. Ned, it's a pleasure to talk to you again. I hope to run into you while you're up there at Beartrap.
I hope so. Yeah. Well, thanks, Glenn.